Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
Prime Minister appeals to international community to support Ocean Energy Work Program for small island developing states. Details to this story and more in the National Report. Welcome back with the details to the news for Friday, September 27th. I am Sherry-Ann Noel. Grenada's Prime Minister has made an impassioned appeal to the international community to support the development of the Ocean Energy Work Program for small island developing states. Addressing a high-level luncheon event at the United Nations headquarters on Friday, Dr. Mitchell said they need partners in their quest to use ocean energy as a principal source of energy for small states to survive. The government of Grenada has also thrown its full support behind the SIDS regional renewable energy and energy efficiency centers in Barbados, Tonga, and Cabo Verde, which are seen as critical to energy transformation that SIDS must undergo. Dr. Mitchell said for decades, the economies of small island developing states like Grenada have paid the price for the continued dependence on imported liquid petroleum fuels, a major cause of the high level of indebtedness. Dr. Mitchell, who is also the president of the Fourth Assembly of SIDS-DOC, says this historic dependence on the petroleum has limited the development of professional capacity in renewable energy systems. His comments were contained in his address on the Samoa Pathway Midterm Review, Mission Transforming Island Lives, the network of regional sustainable energy centers for small island developing states.
The alliance between SIDS and SIDS-DOCs that provided the foundation for the two new renewable energy centers in Barbados and Tonga, with support of the government of Austria, is a true representation of the partnerships that underline the implementation of the Samoa Pathway. The SIDS regional centers represent a powerful and visible manifestation of the generosity of the people and the government of Austria, Norway, and Spain. Special thank you, my very good friend, in helping to kickstart in 2014 the biggest transformation in the energy sector in small island developing states in our modern history.
Dr. Mitchell also appealed for delegates to support the SIDS-DOC Children's Program and added that the regional energy efficiency centers will be critical in helping to implement a SIDS Day in schools. Grenada will host the Belt and Road Conference in October. That's according to Acting Prime Minister Honorable Gregory Boeing. The Belt and Road Initiative, which adheres to the principles of extensive consultation, joint contribution, and shared benefits, will provide an opportunity for countries like Grenada to access development financing otherwise difficult to secure for traditional institutions. Minister Bowen was speaking Thursday during a reception on the occasion of the 70th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. He says the signing of the MOU in 2018 to cooperate on the Belt and Road Construction Initiative is evidence of the high level of engagement that exists between the PRC and Grenada and the Caribbean countries with which they have diplomatic ties.
Grenada will host the China-Caribbean Conference on the One Belt and One Road Initiative in October 2019. This conference will open avenues for promoting cooperation between China and the Caribbean countries on the Belt and Road Initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, the numerous cooperation programs around the country, cooperation on international affairs, and the various people-to-people exchanges are all evidence of the importance of the friendship between Grenada and the People's Republic of China.
Thursday's reception at the Radisson Resort was also attended by Her Excellency Dame Cecilia Grenada, Ministers of Government, former scholarship recipients, and other specially invited guests. Ambassador His Excellency Dr. Zhao Yongshen says over the years China has provided significant support to friendly nations and is committed to working for stronger ties in the future.
Agriculture, education, human resource training, support, public health, and housing. Two countries also have support each other in regional and international affairs and play an important role in maintaining the peace and security of region and world as well as international order. In the future, we will continue to support Grenada's economic and social development and promote win-win cooperation.
Minister Bowen extended congratulations on behalf of the government and people of Grenada to the government and people of the People's Republic of China on the 70th anniversary on the founding of the People's Republic of China. He said throughout the years, the People's Republic of China has developed and transformed both economically and socially.
Excellency, the celebration of your 70th National Day ought to be an opportune moment for all Chinese citizens the world over to reflect on the nation's successes with great patriotism and pride.
In recent years, a number of Grenadians have participated in cultural exchanges between the People's Republic of China and Grenada. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Grenada, it's coming as the Ministry of Youth, Development, Sports, Culture and the Arts brings to you National Youth Week 2019 and it's one full week of activities, vibes and action as the nation turns their attention on the nation's youth, and it's from Saturday, October 19 till Saturday, November 2nd under the theme Embracing Opportunities, Sowing Higher. October 19th and 20th, National Community Service Weekend, Island-wide. October 26th, Health Walk and Ministers Address. October 27th, Ecumenical Service and Peace Concerts. October 28th, Youth Vibe. October 29th, St. John's Youth Parliament. October 30th, Job Fair and Career Day. October 31st, Fun Nights. November 1st, Discovering Talents and Expo. And on November 2nd, it's National Youth Awards. So urging everyone to be a part of Youth Week 2019, October 19th to November 2nd.
Welcome back. Grenada and China continue to harvest the benefits of the diplomatic relations, with agriculture advancements being a key component of that relationship. On Friday, the Chinese embassy made a presentation of agriculture supplies to the ministry that is believed would help to reduce the cost of purchasing some supplies. Details to this report by Mina Booker, Public Relations Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture.
Through the existing agreement for technical cooperation in agriculture between the government of Grenada and the People's Republic of China, the agricultural sector has benefited from bilateral and multilateral training for staff and farmers, as well as equipment, supplies, and technical support from the Chinese Agricultural Mission. During a symbolic handing over ceremony on Friday, 27th September, supplies were handed over to the Minister of Agriculture and Lands, Honorable Yolande Bain Hosford, by His Excellency Dr. Zhao Yongshen, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the People's Republic of China. This handing over was held at the Lassages Demonstration Farm in St. David.
We support Grenada to develop agriculture, education, human resource, support, culture, economic and other social affairs. So, agriculture cooperation is the part of China and Grenada cooperation and friendship. We hope this can help Grenadian farmers to develop the agriculture productions.
Supplies presented to the Minister of Agriculture included sunshades, seedling trays, flower pots, plastic mulch, fertilizers, and a computer system.
We have a very strong relationship with the People's Republic of China, and we want to ensure that we build on the relationship and develop what we have, the good relations that we have. We hope that this would continue. We are looking forward to more support from China.
For farmer Raphael Sylvester, he foresees that these supplies will help to reduce the costs associated with purchasing agricultural supplies, including fertilizers for farmers.
We'll have fertilizers, we'll have greenhouse covers, we'll have even some of the way that we might treat animals in terms of the health. Also, not only farmers but housewives, where I can see some of the nice beautiful pots for pots there. They will benefit as a part of agriculture. It may not only go for a flower, but it may be one that you can consume. For example, a tomato tree, celery scythe could also grow nicely on the veranda. That will attract anybody that has any other flower beds. In terms of costing, that would save a lot because fertilizer here now is not cheap. And once we can get some that we don't have to pay for immediately, that will go a long way as well.
For the Ministry of Agriculture's Public Relations Unit, I am Mina Booker.
And finally, a ribbon-cutting ceremony was held on Friday to officially hand over a 200-kilowatt solar PV system at the T.A. Marichaud Community College. The solar PV system has the capacity to produce 320,000 kilowatts of power per year, which TAMCC officials say will be sold to the Grenada Electricity Company, GrenLec, at a project cost of $160,000 AC per year. TAMCC was one of 3 sites visited by the World Bank and chosen because it possessed less risk factors with regards to vulnerability in the face of natural disasters. Minister of Energy, Honorable Gregory Boeing, who cut the ribbon to signal the official handover, says the liberalization of the electricity sector, effected through the Electricity Act and Public Utilities Regulatory Commission Act No. 20 of 2006, opened for such a project.
It is the liberalization which has been fought so strenuously that is allowing this and similar projects, you have mentioned some of those before, throughout Grenada to be realized. The World Bank financed the Exera liberalization project to the tune of $10 million between St. Lucia and Grenada.
Project coordinator Jade Hutchinson says the World Bank envisioned the project to determine how to transition from fossil fuel to renewable energy and how to use renewables to decrease energy costs.
The project was done in St. Lucia, Grenada, and St. Vincent. So we had the 3 islands where the World Bank funded these projects. The project was a grant amount of $600,000 to install a 200 kilowatt solar PV system in each of the locations. Like Mr. Ogis mentioned, we chose TAMCC. The system is expected to produce about 351 megawatt hours of electricity. To put that into context, we're looking at about 50 to 60 Grenadian homes, or savings of up to $125,000 annually. To date, the system has saved over $40,000 for TAMCC. So you can imagine how that money could now be reinvested in education.
Delivering remarks on behalf of the T.A. Marichaud Community College, Patricia Benjamin says the PV solar system will without a doubt enhance the strategic goals of the college.
To improve the capacity to professionally advance teaching, learning, and administration by upgrading the facilities and infrastructure of the college. This project has captured the capacity building and development in the training of our instructors, students, and maintenance personnel, and is harmonized with the goal of the college. The PV system will provide 200 kilowatt energy, which is tied into a 3-phase system with approximately 580 solar modules.
4 Grenadians are presently in St. Lucia undertaking PV design training. And with that, we come to the end of the National Report for Friday, September 27th. On behalf of the news and production team, I am Sherry Noel, thanking you for viewing.
And good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Pity Martinique. Once again, it is time for Hard Talk. My name, Sheldon Scott, taking you up until the 12 o'clock hour. It's now 25 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock. On a beautiful, sunshiny, with little rain here and there, Monday morning on the Isle of Spice. And we're live on 97.5 CitysoundFM, 89.5 community radio on your frequency modulated CRFM. And we never appreciate Sister Isles FM, the voice of the Grenadine Islands, 92.9. And 94.9, yeah, We Noise Radio, Caribbean Radio, brought to you out there in Brooklyn. Yes, indeed. Beautiful Kaiso on a Monday morning. Contribution too. So we have to pay tribute to the local heroes we have right here. Give them the honor they deserve before they disappear. Try to do it in advance. If you don't want no guilt on your conscience, after they're dead and gone, what you do as they have no importance. So give me now instead. Yeah, we say a special good morning to our good bro Devon. Give me flowers before. Yeah, hope you're getting better, bro. And a special good morning to all of you on the live this morning. Just give me flowers before. Remember to like and share the live. Wingsy, I mean, where I get a bad rise a cup, man. If you want a cup, so say you want a cup, man. Give me flowers before I dead. Ariza is the place, innit? Cynthia, good morning to you. Damian Daniel, yeah, folks, remember Damian is getting ready for his championship, yeah? This one is not regional, this one is international, flying the Grenada flag out there. Nazi B, yeah, technical man is on the inside. Shirley, Olive, Ian, Dali, good morning to each and every one of you. Sherry, good morning, my dear. Kathleen, good morning to you. And Sonia, I'm seeing you on the inside. Even though you're not popping up in my listing. Louisa, good morning. So I try to remember to tell everybody good morning because there's some upset people when you do say morning and thing. You understand? After they gone to the grave, beyond you know that it is too late. So leave no stone unturned. No effort must be spared. So give me flowers before I die. Yes, indeed. Give me my flowers now, yeah? Come on, crying over casket and all kind of thing. Big, long tears and all kind of thing. Bawling. Who want to jump down in hole and all kind of thing. And so they wouldn't give you $250 to take a bus to go and look for a job. Yeah? Yeah, but big, long tears and thing. Yeah, so give them the flowers now, yeah? Have to pay tribute to the local heroes we have right here. Give them the honor. Folks, remember tomorrow, I believe we have post-cabinet press briefing to verify, because I know there's an activity, the Parliament opening. I'm not sure if it's taking place this week or next week. I have to get the specific information. Give me flowers before I dead. Go wait till I come. So once I get that, I'll pass it on to you. We have post-cabinet press briefing, as far as I'm aware, tomorrow. I'll know exactly who by the end of the program. Well, usually by the afternoon time. We know who it is will be on the program, the post-cabinet. Grenada has been up in the mix up there in the United Nations. I'm hungry right now. Whether it's holding bilaterals with India, signing on with Ukraine, will you recognize me now? Yeah, Grenada has been in the mix or receiving awards for climate change. Yeah, Grenada at the forefront of climate change, climate resilience. There are some people that don't like that, you know. Every minute they have to complain. Why Grenada getting an award? Why Grenada getting an award? Grenada is getting awards because Grenada is actually doing something. Yeah? From the banning of styrofoam and plastics and so on to actually having a ministry with specific responsibility for climate change and resilience. And we never appreciate. Not just talk, but actually doing physical things. So leave no stone unturned. No effort must be spared. So there's climate resilience, the ministry with responsibility for climate resilience. That's doing quite a bit of work. Imagine Trinidad is following us now. They're about to ban styrofoam products. We've done that already, haven't we? Seems as though while some of us are playing on one team, some people playing on another. Can't even stand the fact that Grenada has gotten an award in relation to climate resilience and the work that the government and people of Grenada have been doing in relation to this issue. Good morning, Rita. I sent a message for you to get in contact with me a while now. I ain't hear you. Have a scene I need you to handle for me. Inbox me when the program done, my dear. How is Randy and the little one doing? My philosophy endures. Always country. Rita and we doesn't jealous people, we just surpass them. We doesn't jealous people, girl. We just surpass them. I don't know what do these people and them? We're too busy being successful. Yeah, we are trying to be jealous of people and things. I always playing. Good God, I'm playing. 14. It's been a wonderful weekend. Yes, man. And the International Amateur Athletics Federation, yeah, their World Championships is on. And to those of you playing for Team Grenada, you would want to know that our own Karani James, Zeno, the Jaguar, he's going to be in action tomorrow morning, along with Braylon Taplin. So Team Grenada, we're in action tomorrow morning. Both Braylon and Karani will be taking part in the men's 400-meter heats in Doha, Qatar tomorrow morning. Approximate time 9:35. That's when the heats start. It doesn't mean that Karani's heat starts that time. But if I was you, I would make sure that I was in front of a screen at that time tomorrow, yeah? No, GBN has been doing an excellent job thus far of ensuring that they broadcast the World Championships. So we're looking forward to that one, yeah? And once they qualify to the semi-finals, once they qualify, so everybody get on your knees, start to pray right now. Even if you can't get on your knees, you're on the bus, pray right there. Whoever is, pray. Right? Nice. Good. Once they get through the preliminary round and the heats, then they shall be running in the semi-finals tomorrow a little after 1 in the afternoon. Good God, I'm playing. And following that, the finals of the men's 400 meter is going to be taking place, God's willing, on Friday at approximately 4:15 in the forenoon. In other words, after 4 Friday afternoon, right? Nice. That's our Karani James. Looking forward And Braylon Taplin. So remember, it's now one. It's 2 we have in the 400 meter day. 2 Olympic finalists as well, eh? Both of them making it to the Olympic finals. Some folks have been asking about Wade van der Kerk, the present world champion and Olympic champion. Wade van der Kerk has been sidelined with an injury. Has been sidelined for most of the last 2 years. He tore the muscles around his kneecap playing rugby. You know, the thing like American football, the English version. In other words, the real game, because the American one is kind of like the copy. The real thing, rugby. Yeah, he was playing a charity match in South Africa a couple of years ago and damaged the knee. Yeah, he's been having a hard time getting it back into action. So Wade van der Kerk has been sidelined from the World Championships. He's focusing now on the Olympic Games next year in Tokyo. And on Wednesday as well. In action on Wednesday morning in the decathlon, we will have Lyndon Victor. God's willing. The Muslims would say inshallah. So on Wednesday, we ought to have Lyndon Victor in action. We have a caller online. Good morning.
Good morning, Sheldon. I'm calling from Trinidad.
Morning. How are you?
I'm all right.
Okay, wonderful.
I came to Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
I spent 6 months. And I didn't expect Grenada to be the country that, growing up as a little boy, what I saw in Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw, especially I heard you talk about the styrofoam banning in Grenada, and I saw it there, and we now following suit in Trinidad, when we should have been advanced at Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, though, that I came back home. I still listen to your program, as I used to do in Grenada, and I was very, very highly impressed with your Prime Minister's contribution at the United Nations, which I was following. I found out that he made a bigger impact than our Prime Minister.
Oh, gosh. Well, it's to Dr. Keith,
And the thing is, I had the opportunity to meet him in Grenada. And, I found him to be such a wonderful man, grassroots, down to earth. And what I saw in Grenada, the developments I keep on following, we came there really on our project, but things really didn't work out. But, life in Grenada is really, really a paradise, pictured, I must say. And we met some Grenadian friends there who really, really treated us, like family, like home. That is what, when I came back to Trinidad, I told my friends and I'm here so much impressed. And I think, need to come back and spend some more time.
Well, we want you to come back, Come and make a hangout with us. Spend another 6 months, man. Come on.
I like with you, man. I like with you evening, man. It's small ease. Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is this, huh? It's a much more relaxed atmosphere because we know what's going on in Trinidad right now. We all know. And Grenada is
easy here, boy.
Yeah, Grenada is much more relaxed. Yeah, you feel relaxed. You don't have to be worried.
We used to go down to the beach last o'clock in the night. I come up to tree there and it's so comfortable, right? To go to the Prickly Bay Bingo line every Tuesday night, boy. It was really nice. We go to Baines, Grenville. Then it was 6 months. I really had a good time. Although our experience was a very unfortunate one. We had some problems with the direct vehicles. And things didn't work out for us. We lost some money on an investment. But there's no fault of this. We had to practice the blame for this. The guy who we came to do the work for, he sent us the wrong information.
Okay.
It was supposed to be all the derelict vehicles in Grenada, and when we saw the contract, when we came across there, it was for just St. George's. So,
whoa.
But other than that,
I just remember who we're talking to now,
Yeah.
As you said that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
boy, you know which part we really like, boy? Long crochet, boy.
Closure is just absolutely beautiful. Beautiful,
Boy,
nice, relaxed, always cool, eh?
yeah.
Always cool.
We went down to the little lime that had down there the 1 week back thing there, boy. And
Yeah, the closure
Sunday,
get together, yeah. Hello? Oh boy, it seems as though we lost that caller. Well, you can call back, yeah, but I know he was referring to the Closure Lime, where they have all the people from Closure, they get together for a week of activities every now and again. And Rita? Yeah, Rita must know about that. That's an absolutely wonderful activity. If you have not been before, you need to go. Yeah, if you have not been before, when it's coming up again, we'll let you know via Hard Talk. I know Dexter go let me know. Yeah, you need to go and spend some time there. Closure is absolutely beautiful. You don't need air conditioning up there, you know. Yeah, Closure always air condition. Natural air condition. You don't need that up there, believe me. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I think we take for granted how others perceive our country. I think we take it for granted. Yeah? You had many persons, not just from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, but other countries that came here for our carnival. And you know one of the things that they were very impressed with? The fact that you could go a party, you could go a fete, and not a fight. Not a bottle pelt, nothing mashing up, all this kind of thing. People go to a fete, and if two people have a disagreement and you see they push and they pull and they start a thing between each other, 2 minutes later you see the same people by the bar drinking. Because that's how we, as Grenadians, that's how we are. Yes, there are people that are preaching hate out there. There are people that are preaching all sorts of venom out there. I won't be one of them. Yeah? Because true Grenadians, we are very peaceful people. Don't get on the wrong side. The wrong side is not a nice place to be. Stay on the right side. The wrong side is a wrong place to be. The right side is the right place to be. You understand? Nice. Good. But we are very nice people. You know, 2 steps, 45 minutes away, Trinidad. You think something like the Prickly Bay Lime could be taking place all the time? No, you have to worry to go down there. You have to worry to leave your car. You have to worry about if you win and you're coming out, what's going to happen to you. You have to worry about on your way from there, to and from. But you could lime in Grenada and you're safe. You have the brewery. In fact, I saw a review of the brewery, and I'm not talking about the Grenada Breweries Limited as in the Carib factory. The brewery in Lansapine. Yeah, I saw a review of that in an international magazine. And believe me, they were high in praise of the brewery. The staff there, how friendly and accommodating they are. The quality of the service and the quality of the product. Many of you may not have been to the brewery in Lansapine before. You need to visit. Yeah, man, take a chair right next to the junction. Which is the next place you can visit. So you get a chance, visit the brewery. I've always said sometimes we as Grenadians need to be tourists in our own country. We do. We need to be tourists in our own country. Visit places. Go up by Rita. Go up in Closure. Visit Naz, we going in Closure? Whenever. We don't need invitation to go Closure. No, we just have to say we going. All we have to say is we going. No. The best dashing log I ever get in my life is in Closure. Number one, they had the best dashing to start with. And then they make the best log with the dashing. So the best, I know Brother Bola here in that and he remember what I'm talking about there. You know? Yeah. The best dashing log I ever get in my life is in Closure. Closure have it cracking, man. Yeah. So we go in on lime in Closure. We ain't going to say when. We go decide off air. We go decide when we go in on lime in Closure. Nice. Beautiful. Yes, indeed. Hey, folks. I was telling you just before that call that Team Grenada is at the IAAF World Championships in Doha, Qatar. That's up in the Middle East. Karani James in action tomorrow morning and Braylon Taplin both of them. So we should have 3 Grenadians in action on Wednesday with Lyndon Victor in the decathlon. He'll be in action both morning and evening time on Wednesday in the decathlon. Several events that he'll be participating in the decathlon, because it's javelin, shot put, discus, high jump, long jump, pole vault, hurdles, 110-meter hurdles, is it? Hurdles, 100 meter, 400 meter, 1800 meter, 1300 meter. I can't remember exactly. I'll get it in a while. But yeah, so he'll be in action on Wednesday and Thursday, and the final event taking place on Friday. Karani should be in action tomorrow, Wednesday, and Friday. Yeah? And then, we ain't finished then, We have Anderson Peters coming up right after. So Anderson Peters should be in action on Sunday and Monday of next week. The games end on Monday. All right? And Anderson Peters, javelin. Right now, he holds the Grenada record in the javelin. At the Commonwealth Games recently, he won a gold medal for Grenada. And not only did he win a gold medal for Grenada, but he beat 2-time Olympic medalist Kishon Walcott out of Trinidad. Kishon Walcott, who won a gold medal same time as Karani and a silver medal same time as Karani in the Olympic Games. He has been able to beat Kishon Walcott. Right? Hey, Leonie! Morning! More closure people, girl. I like closure, That's my place. Yes, indeed. So we have, Ms. Duncan, I want your day. I want you in here. You're in the wrong place. You're in the thing day. It's in here you're supposed to come. Landa, morning. Yeah. So we have our athletes in action out there over this week. All right? So it's something to look forward to. Nice? Beautiful. We're looking forward to that one. And Hard Talk. We're going to shift around the program and think according to who in action, and so to see if we could grab a little snippet. I don't think I hear anybody have exclusive. So I feel we might be able to broadcast a little something in and between. So, folks, remember the St. David constituency branch. They're having that luncheon taking place this Friday. We'll give you some more information in relation to that. You know that your music is special. And also the convention of the new National Party that's taking place in a couple of weeks. Yeah, we're heading to the MacDonald College in St. Patrick. Please don't let them suffer. Going to start with the morning session. So if you are usually a delegate or you would like to be a delegate, and so you need to contact your constituency branch and your constituency representatives to have yourself, you need to be up to date on your payments. Yes, you need to be up to date right now, right, as a card-carrying member of the party. And if you're not a delegate, at least you can be an observer. So even though you're not coming from early morning as a delegate, the delegates being the people who actually vote on various things. Yeah? If you're not coming as a delegate, at least you can come in as an observer. Yeah? And every position is up for grabs, eh? Every position is up for grabs. The phone number 4407377, in case I didn't say it for the day or before, 4407377. And you can also get us on the overseas line 347-329-3101. If you're based in the United States or Canada, it's like a local call. Huh? So you can call us on 347-329-3101. Yeah, so Grenada leading the charge in relation to climate change. Some people want to upset. Grenada being awarded for work done thus far and for the plans in place for more work to do. Some people upset with that. They want to vex. Why are you awarding Grenada? And the weird thing is, it's not people from other countries, you know. It's our own Grenadians that are upset. Yeah. People who neighbor stringberry, yeah. I don't know if it's under a fig tree, if it's under a breadnut tree, if it's under a breadfruit tree, under a mango tree. I don't know where the neighbor stringberry, but he berry here. And these people upset when Grenada is doing things positively outside there. Last year when you had, earlier this year when you had the Prime Minister being announced as Finance Minister of the Year, same people that were upset. Grenada doing well in relation to climate resilience and climate change. Yeah? Right now, Grenada having the opportunity to access a portion of $150 million put aside by the Indian government for Carriacou countries. Note, I did not say that Grenada is going to get $150 million. It's $150 million in the pot, and Grenada has the opportunity to access a portion of that for a climate resilience project here in Grenada. Also, through the Indian government, Grenada has been awarded $1 million US immediately for projects, high impact community projects. So you may see a project that can impact on your community and you may be able to access part of that funding. So the $1 million don't have to go into one project. It can go into various projects. So you may have a project that probably 100,000, 200,000, or maybe even less than that, 50,000. High impact that could impact your community, could improve the lives of the people in your community that you're seeing. One of the problems we have, though, is that a lot of folks do not apply. They have wonderful ideas, they do not apply. But you know, it's not necessarily their fault. One of the other problems we have is that a lot of people are weak on project writing. Yeah? They're weak on project writing, so they don't know how to write a project in order to access funding. So that's a problem that we have. So you have to find ways and means around that. Because project writing is one of the weak areas when it comes to various organizations, NGOs, and other organizations here in Grenada. There are literally billions of dollars in funding available for Grenada. Grant funding that is not a loan. You don't have to repay that. Grant funding that's out there that many of us don't access because don't know how to write the project. Don't know how to structure the project in order to be successful in getting it. Yeah? So we have to do that. We have to start putting together some projects to access some of these monies. All right, Connell, you're locked in from Brooklyn. Folks, as I said, remember to like and share the live. Kiki, do you love me?
Never forget where you come from. Don't think you better.
And folks, just remember we're about to head into the cruise ship season. As far as I know, the first cruise ship should be coming in on Sunday. Yeah, I believe it's, not this Sunday, the following Sunday, innit? Not this Sunday, but I believe the following Sunday we should have the first cruise ship in. So we're about to start the winter cruise season. So remember, and we shouldn't be doing this just during the cruise ship season. We live here. We have to keep the place clean. All right? Nice.
You see the preparation you make today will go a long, long way tomorrow. The little education you grab, I pray, will help to wipe out.
Why some people... I'll deal with that just now. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Sheldon.
Hey, how you How you doing, man? I'm good.
Brother Sheldon, I can stand and testify when the election call and the Grenada people elect NMP as the party to govern. Right? I can stand and say that the Grenada people make the right choice to elect NMP to govern the country. Because when you look at the development of this government, right, I could say that the Grenada people are very proud of this government, of the achievement that they have made so far, and many more to come. Because when you elect NMP to govern the country, you elect the NMP with a leader, with a vision, a leader to take the country forward, and with other ministers that is competent to walk along with the leader. So I could satisfy that the majority of Grenada people are satisfied of the work that of this government do. Even the opposition, they know elected NMP as the government to govern is the right choice. But because of politics and hate, they will not accept it. So, Brother Devon, well, Sheldon, you have a wonderful day. Where is Duncan? Upset?
Yeah, she's close by, but she seems to be busy right now. She may pop in a little later. All right.
Sheldon, okay, sir.
Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm. Well, NDC, you really feel that I'm afraid of them?
Just do what the fella say. But if you keep on the wrong direction, like a sheep that is gonna shoot.
We know you all don't want us to focus on your party. You all want me to spend time attempting to defend myself?
A spiritual song again.
I understand the game that you all are trying to play. So you all could put as much stuff as you want into the newspaper. Mm-hmm. It will never affect me. If you all would like more stuff to put into the newspaper, I could go and do something today. Yeah? Or I could write a script for you all to put into the newspaper. It does not bother me. Yeah, you all could do whatever you want. At the end of the day, it remains a fact that your present political leader, by the time December rolls around, will not be your political leader anymore.
Remember you're poor and you're needy.
We've got a caller. Good morning.
Yeah, so Carl, how things, man?
Hey, I'm great, man.
Yeah. The Jude guy, do you ever hear anything positive come from him more into Grenada?
You want to know something, bro? I saw a newspaper article from the year 1993, and the same nonsense he's getting on with now.
So that's what you know. If you are wrong, you're not the NCO was making all this blunders, all this stupidness, and I don't think I heard the voice around that time.
Why, of course he was.
So I don't know if he was in Grenada at that time, but I find every time I hear that man, you think it was something positive, it's just a negative, but the time highlight like a positive too, no man. It's a negative, man.
What
every
they need?
Listening only something bad. If the Prime Minister name calling a good thing, you always looking something to shadow it. Or something you say, well, yeah, that's a good gesture because you make nothing so you just. But you always have people in the world, remember, you find all the kind of type of people in the world. So we have to live with that because he's part of the ecosystem too. So we all have to live together. But you criticize, but be constructive when criticizing and give ways that you know that we could do better. You understand? But no everything so well. Take care, Mr. Scott.
All right, brother. Blessings. Yes, indeed. So to the NDC, you could have as much political meetings and focus on me as much as you want. You're still losing the next election. You could call my name from every political platform with your 20 people in front of you around the country. You're still losing the next election. Your political leader is a failure. Your organization is the most disgustingly weak in the entire Caribbean to lose elections back to back 15-0 twice. If you want to put my name in the paper, put it again. I ain't taking no legal action. Because every Grenadian seeing the fact that the problem is you all afraid me. You, Joseph Andal, you afraid Sheldon Scott. You afraid him. You and your entire executive are a bunch of cowards. And added to cowards, you're a bunch of failures. All you afraid me, so continue to call me name. Morning, Miss Duncan.
Good morning, Sheldon.
How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm great. And good morning, of course, to all of our listeners.
We getting a call. Hold on.
Already?
Yeah, we taking a call. Morning, Kiame.
Good morning.
Morning, my dear.
Morning, Sheldon and Devon.
Well, Devon not in, but Shalandi.
Good
and Miss
morning.
Duncan.
It's still in the election. I was very Lord Jesus. Anyhow, I just want to say good morning to you all guys. Good morning. And good morning to Mr. Watts and his wife and Patty and Matthew. Good morning in Canada. Ian, good morning. And morning to Patty and Cox and Defoe and his family. Everybody, the Chase family. And my friend from Carriacou from England and his wife. Good morning. All my friends out home and abroad. Good morning, this is Miss Cammy. Yes, I'm not in so good health, but I just want to say good morning. I'm morning to the Prime Minister and Mr. David. Good morning. I accept my sympathy. Sheldon, you know me, boy, father, eh? I think everybody know that.
Yes, we did mention it last week.
Sympathy go to the grandchildren and everybody, Abby and all of them, Everybody. Philip Case, everybody. Yes. And Sheldon.
Yes, my love.
And Devon. And always listening. I have rights Zabuka someday. All right.
Avocado girl.
All you pass, all you get one for $2. Yes.
All right.
And anybody's listening, I have some things on sale. I need a little money to pay me a little water bill and light bill.
Yes.
I have nice crowd for people with big boobs. This money. And Sheldon, bother with the people. We all make mistakes in our lives. And you make a mistake and you can work on that. And don't bother with them. You don't report it, leave them and do whatever to do their business. You've got thanks alike. Your life
No legal action.
Don't bother with them, Sheldon.
All right, my dear.
Okay?
No problem.
And Patty, thanks for the picture. He said me a lovely picture with the Prime Minister and everybody out there. And the invitation. Yes. All right, Patty, have a blessed day. And Grenada, people, everybody, have a good day.
All right.
Yes.
Later.
And say hi to them guys, them Granville Bossman.
Old dog and them.
Lucky and everybody, and Rex and Zai and everybody. Because we're listening.
All right, my dear.
Okay? Forget them, Sheldon. Don't let me hear you.
All right.
Them.
No, you have
Don't
to say it.
them.
You have to say it because they feel afraid them.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Good morning. And that is a coward, the whole NDC executive, all of them, Tut Mun Bagay, everybody, a bunch of coward. That's what you see in the whole organization stand for. Coward. Yeah, Ms. Duncan, you was talking, right ahead.
All right. Well, I was saying good morning to everybody. I'm not here to stay long because this morning I have to help out our General Secretary in the office. Mm-hmm. So I'm not staying long, but I did come to make two very important announcements. And then there's something just briefly I promised him that I wouldn't stay long. But sometimes when the conversation catch you, what has happened. So I'll try to be brief. Try my best. So there's an important meeting, a party meeting for the NNP members or supporters of the St. George Northeast constituency at the Boca Secondary School, and that's happening at 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, the 1st of October. So, of course, all members of the new National Party and, of course, supporters as well, we are inviting you to the Boca Secondary School, and that's tomorrow, Tuesday, at 5:30. The National Executive will be present, and that would include the chairman, Minister Honorable Gregory Bowen, our General Secretary, Mr. Roland Bola, and of course the parliamentary representative, Tobias Clement, would be there, and he's there to address his constituents. So we're asking all of you to attend this very important meeting. That's tomorrow at 5:30.
All right, so tomorrow at 5, and again the location?
The Boca Secondary School.
You come out.
Yes, please come out. Don't say I didn't know or that
buses
I
are
didn't
available.
hear. And buses are available. If they there are point persons within the constituency that can be contacted as it relates to transportation. I don't have the names off my head, but I'll try my best before the program is over to get that to you. So, we're inviting our supporters to come out and just listen.
Are you come out? So, meeting St. George Northeast tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Right.
Tomorrow. Over the weekend, I had a very interesting conversation with a gentleman. And this conversation, we usually have a lot of good conversations, but this one, I think, really touched home. And I think it's something that we must talk about a lot more. And that's about self-sustainability. And by that, I mean, he was saying there are a lot of people in the constituencies who need a lot of help. So they need to go to their MPs, and the MPs need to help them out. And I said to him simply that I don't believe that that is true all of the time. Meaning that if I go to my parliamentary representative, I don't want to go to my parliamentary representative for a handout. I want to go to my parliamentary representative to know how I could better my life, right? So if this Tuesday I go and I get $50, that means 5 Tuesdays in a month. That's how many $100 that is? $250, right? Good. If I ask my representative or even the constituency officer, because the constituency office is an extension of the representative. So whatever the representative can provide you with, the constituency office should be able to provide you with information on that as well. So there are a lot of programs available for people to improve themselves. So for example, he was giving me the scenario of a lady, an individual in a constituency. She has about 8 children. She lives in a 2-bedroom home, and she gets a little work on the road, when that's available. And I said to him, he said she's looking for betterment. So I asked him, I said, well, what betterment is she looking for? Oh, well, she's looking to add on an next room in her house. So she went to the minister to get some supplies for housing. And, she wants to move from that job to a next one and so on. So she went to the minister for assistance. So I said to him, if in the event the job that she's asking for is not available, then what would she do? What is her backup plan? You see, and that's an important question. We don't ever have backup plans for when things go wrong. So, for example, you're looking for betterment. You go to the minister for housing. The minister provides you with the board or whatever to fix your house. A year, 2 years later, the board starts to rot. What happens then? You have to go back to the minister again, right? What if instead of saying, Minister, I need the board for the house, and I need a job, why not say, well, Minister, I'm very interested in sewing. How can you help me get into a course where I can now become my own entrepreneur and, create a business in sewing? People always need extension and so on in their clothing and so on, and create something that would provide her with money at the end of every month consistently, as opposed to depending heavily on the constituency office. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't, because that's why the constituency office is there, to provide whatever assistance they can. But there are some people who depend heavily on the constituency office and their parliamentary representatives to make their lives easier, their personal lives easier. When we as a people must come together and say, listen, I don't want you to help me get bored in. I want you to help me, get a course, do a business plan. Grenada Development Bank have a lot of opportunities for persons to become entrepreneurs, right? So, do something that is going to be long-term, as opposed to looking for short-term fixes. And I was explaining that to him. A lot of us just look for short-term fixes. So over time, we get a lot of patchwork, basically.
But you see, the thing is that there are opportunities out there, but probably we don't speak of them enough, because I've just been speaking about the $150 million that the Indian government is giving for climate resilience programs.
Right.
But they've already given to each Caribbean country $1 million US for high-impact community projects. The problem has been that within the community, because, for instance, let's say in some community, there's a group of, let's say, 15 women that are willing to form a cooperative and start the work now of doing bottled hot sauce, bottled pepper, bottled seasoning, and that sort of thing.
Right.
And within that community, there are enough farms to sustain that over a period of time. Now, that $1 million, if they write a project to the government and says, well, look, this is going to create employment in here, instead of these ladies now having to go to the MP and saying, look, I need a $50.
Yeah.
My gas finish, I need a $50.
Yeah.
Or going to the MP and saying, well, my electricity, I need to pay that because the children, they have to study and so on, and we need to pay that, etc. That these people would be, as you said, self-sustaining.
Yeah.
The problem has been and continues to be that while the ideas are there, while the products are there, you go into some communities, you have load of and time and all sorts of things, especially if you go up in Closure and then place there.
Mm-hmm.
We have loads of this stuff growing and people that are capable and people with the competency and the technical skill to do it. The problem has been the project writing to be able to secure the funding.
Yeah.
An individual approached me roughly about 5 months or so ago. Mm-hmm. They had this business idea and they were seeking funding to do it. And they wanted my advice on how should they proceed in finding funding to start this business. So I simply told them, I said, listen, you can go to the Grenada Development Bank. You do your business plan and you go to the Grenada Development Bank and they can assist you. They wrote back to me last month and they said, listen, thank you so very much. Yeah. I was able to secure a loan of $25,000 to start my small business and get it cracking. Mm-hmm. And they don't just give you $25,000 and then forget about you. They give you $25,000 and they follow up with you.
Of course.
Every now and again.
Yeah.
There are other projects like that through the Ministry of Youth, the Grenada Youth Enterprise Initiative, which is within the Imani program right now. After some of the young people have trained in a particular area, it provides funding for them to start their own small business. We don't hear much about it, but it's there. Under the Ministry of Agriculture, there used to be programs similar to that. I'm not sure if there are any now, but there used to be programs under there that people can access. The Grenada Industrial Development Corporation, they offer to people willing to start a business. Number one, you get 100% duty-free concession on a vehicle that is under 5 years old. So you bring a vehicle in for the use of your business, you can get 100% concession, duty-free concession on that vehicle for the use of your business once the vehicle is under 5 years old. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, you're bringing in equipment. Let's say you're doing, out of the top of my head, you're doing a manufacturing something, so you need to bring in equipment to actually do the manufacturing. You can get concessions on those. I don't want to say 100% because I'm not clear, but you can get concessions on the equipment that you're bringing in, be it 50%, 100%, whatever. But you can get duty-free concessions. So you buy it, you bring it in, and you could clear it for next to nothing. Right? The only thing they will not give concessions on are the things that are usable. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, you buy a printer, you might get the duty-free concession on the printer, but not the ink. Because the ink is what you're using, the consumables that you're going to be using in the process. So you will not get concession on those. But the equipment itself that's going to be using the consumables, you can get concession on that. But many people sit down with their brilliant idea and they don't attempt to move forward with it.
Yes, and I mean, it's sad because the information is there, and maybe I think what we need to try doing is making sure that all of the options and all of the avenues available is out there for the people to know about. And this is where the constituency offices can come in handy in terms of getting these kinds of information and providing people within the constituency with alternatives, right? Because it's important. And that's an important part of customer service as well. Because if you go into an MP's office and you speak to one of the persons there within the office and they know that the MP is unable to provide, they must be able to give you an alternative that can work for you, if there is an alternative that can work for you, you know? So that's an important part of customer service. So these are the things that we need to start encouraging people to do, because the government can't do everything. The government can manage the economy. The government can make sure that the economy is sustainable enough so that individuals can grow, right? And so that the country can grow. But if every month or every year the government has to put monies aside to help people give this person a little $50 here and a little $30 there and a little $20 there. If they can invest this this money into, I don't know, programs or whatever that would help with personal growth.
But there are programs, many for younger folks, be it the Empower program, be it Imani program, be it one of the other programs that they have there. In fact, you know, the business center has been set up in St. Mark now for young people on the West Coast. So those young people who, you may have the business idea, don't know how to do up the business plan. You can go to the business center in St. Mark and the Ministry of Youth will help you do the business plan. And you can apply for the loan either through the Ministry of Youth from their program or from the GDB. Or if you want to go to one of the commercial entities, one of the commercial banks or the credit unions, you can go to them and you can apply there for your loan and so. But they are assisting you with the part that we know is the part that a lot of people are having a problem with.
Writing up the project.
There are guys, for instance, who may want to start a small business. For instance, they go ahead and they buy a weed eater. And buying a weed eater is a small business if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you calculate that I'm going to get 10 yards to cut every week or so on, and how much money you're going to make from that. And so, and maybe you have to get one or two other guys to work with you because you get a bigger place that you have to do. And that sort of, it's a small business.
Yeah.
You are earning money on your own. But some fellas have the ability, they have the capability, they might even have the equipment already, but it's not structured. So they find themselves still in a situation they have to go and ask somebody to buy some gas to put into the weed eater because it's not structured.
Very
So
true.
that has to be done. Also, training in managing a business is important.
Very important.
I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll always say it. Anybody on the face of the earth could own a business. Not anybody should run one.
Yes.
Or manage one. Anybody can own it. So the profits are coming to you. Not everybody should. If Bill Gates, who is Bill Gates, billions of dollars, does hire guys to manage businesses for him, and he doesn't have one, he has several businesses. If he does hire somebody to manage business for him, why should you feel that you must manage your little business where you're bringing in a couple $1,000s on a monthly basis or a couple $100 every week? You feel you must manage that. Get someone who understands management, understands money management, get them to take over that aspect of things for you. And work along with them. That's why we see many small businesses opening and closing. They open, 2 minutes after, you hear they close.
And I know the MPs in the women, of course, because, you know, women, and not boasting about women, but I mean, we have vision. We have a lot of vision. So the MPs in the St. Andrew constituencies, I know they've been doing a lot in terms of putting programs together to help their women. I believe Minister Pear would have recently opened a center where she got some sewing machines and so on for the women in her constituency to learn to sew. And I mean, this is important because guess what? You could sew a school shirt. You buy your cloth, you sew a school shirt, and you sell it for $10, right? People will come to you because what? Your price is better. You have all your resources, all your materials, all of that, and you can sell it at a cheaper price. So you would find people coming to you. Then you would have people coming to get their stuff custom made instead of having to buy it and these kinds of things. So these are the things that you want to encourage. You want to encourage self-development, especially in our women, because we know that the women are a powerhouse. The women control a lot of the things that happen, whether it's up front or behind the scenes. They do. And you want to encourage them to develop themselves, because if a woman can get a job, whether as an entrepreneur or something that is stable, to sustain her family, then guess what? It teaches her children as well to become strong and independent and not depend on other people to provide things for you. And these are the things that we need to start encouraging our people to do, to become independent. You know, and not depend. We know we vote for a parliamentarian, and then afterwards we expect the parliamentarian to provide us with whatever it is that we need because we voted to put them there. But that's not how it works, because they have a ministry as well that they need to manage.
But you have to understand, as a parliamentarian, they take 5 minutes to vote for you, and you're responsible for them for 5 years.
For 5 years. 5 years. And I mean, it's sad, but we do have to encourage them. So maybe the constituency offices can gather this sort of information, because a young man was speaking to me on Saturday after a session that we were at, and he said, well, how can I get help? I have a business plan, and I have this plan on what I want to do. And I said to him, listen, go to the Grenada Development Bank, bring your business plan, sit with them, let them advise you on what they think is best for you, so that you can improve your business. And they're willing to do that. Even if you do not have a business plan, they will sit with you and they will create a business plan. I know some of the constituency offices as well, the young ladies and gentlemen in there, they also help with constructing building business plans as well. So you can go to them. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of avenues for growth and development within the country, and we cannot expect the government to do them all. We need to help because the country belongs to us. At the end of 5 years, the 15 parliamentarians may change, but we still remain citizens of the country, so we must help build it, right? So it's important for us to find avenues and ways in which we can help ourselves and in extension help the country as well, so we don't have to depend on our parliamentarians every time to provide us with whatever it is we need. If we apply for a piece of board and you get it, then that's great. That's wonderful. But then at the same time, you must be looking for an avenue in which if I get a room in my house in the next 5 years when my house needs repairs, I must be in a place where I can do that and I don't need to go back to my MP to get my house repaired. So these are the things that we need to encourage as a people. Because I hear a lot of nonsense things a lot of times, and it's very disappointed that we are still at this mindset where we believe that once you vote for somebody, they must take care of you until their time has passed as your parliamentary representative. And that must not be so. Because you didn't vote them in for them to just come and take care of you. You voted them there so they can take care of the constituency and the country on a whole. And that is a big responsibility, and we must understand that. They don't just go and sit in their office from 8 to 4 every day, and they don't just get to jump on a plane and travel when needs be. There's so much behind the scenes work as a minister that we don't understand and we don't appreciate. So much stress. I was telling somebody just this week that in Grenada, we have the most accessible parliamentary representatives anywhere, The most accessible. Imagine you could call your parliamentary representative on a cell phone at whatever hour in the night when a need arises. Where else in the Caribbean can you find that happening? Where else can you find that you could just drive up in front of a parliamentary representative home and get an opportunity to speak with them or sit with them in the office and converse? Where else would you find that, right? There may be other places, but where else do you hear about this thing happening? So we have to be appreciative for what we have, and try to build on what we have so that it's better and not try to condemn everything that goes wrong. And I keep saying that we spend so much time on the negatives that we bypass all of the positive things. And then people are put in a mindset where everything is just negative and nobody focuses on finding the positive. Nobody focuses on self-building and these kinds of things.
Yes, indeed. And oh boy, I saw a call coming through, but we lost that call. Folks, remember you can call in. Okay, it seems as though I'm getting that call right now.
Good morning, caller.
Yes. Yeah, Mr. Scott.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
listening to y'all right now, and the young lady, and y'all speaking about the representative and people and that thing. But let me tell you something. There is some people that they really need, and they will go to the representative office and ask for a little assistance.
Right.
And you have people there that they will never assist them. They will not assist them at all. And these people really need it. But they will help themselves.
Right.
When it comes for their family or their friends, they see that everything is hard to them. And we cannot run from the fact that accident happening in Grenada. Right? I work for a representative, and I know I don't have to go to the office. I don't go to his office. I don't go to the office, I don't call him Monday because I'll stun my hand. But there is people that really need, I want to go there. Whoever is working there, they come applying eyes on these people. And it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't work for them to take care of you, but sometimes you need, and I feel that you need. And these are the people that see you. You represent this scene behind them. Wherever they have a meeting, wherever they and the supporters. And you have some Them alone want everything, Mr. Scott. And the lady was in city, And that is a fact. And when you talk like that, how I speak is nothing. And it's the truth. You understand? But you have to fix that.
Right.
You have some that make it a habit every week. They go there want some money to buy a gas. Because they're spending on that. And it's wrong. It is wrong. You have to help some people. I understand what you're always saying. But some of them that abuse the power they give them inside it. And when you go there, they say, well, I want a little drop of sand, I want a 2 grams. They tell everybody. They tell the rest of workers. She come on there for some time, she come on there for 2 grams. And that's not right. But them begging. And them helping the second, helping the friend. Have a good day.
All right. Well, Miss Cammy, I don't disagree with you at all. I do not disagree with you at all. There are some people within the country that definitely do need, and they just can't help themselves. That is a given fact. And anywhere in the world you would find that. And then there are some people who really do abuse the system. It is true. But what I can say is that we need to help the people that we can help. And help is not only just giving them what they want, right? But giving them means in which they can get what they want and continue to provide for themselves the things that they need, right? And that is what is important. And I do hear your cry about persons within the office that, give to their friends and so on. But let me tell you, in this time, I believe a lot has changed as it relates to that. Right? I can't speak for that, what you're speaking about, because I've never experienced it. And nobody has come to me directly and said, well, this is what has happened to me. I've never got any personal, stories, somebody saying, well, I went to the office and this is what they did to me and so on. But I'm not doubting that it happens. And if it is happening, of course, we as a party, we do not condone it. Absolutely not. We do not condone that kind of behavior. And I mean, I'm speaking broadly here, right? But all I can say is if it is happening, if you have facts related to it, if it is a personal experience of yours, then maybe you should talk to your representative, because I know for a fact that they would not condone that happening within their constituency offices. And we have to attest to the fact that the representative is not going to know everything all of the time, right? So we need to help them find the things out as well, right? So just speak to your representative and maybe the problem will be fixed. Because we have a tendency, before something happens, we jump on social media and we rant and we rave about it when a simple phone call could have just fixed the issue, right? So we have to rethink the ways in which we try to fix issues. Social media doesn't fix anything. It just makes it worse. It just puts ideas in persons' heads and has everybody thinking and saying all of these things without facts, right? But sometimes it is just good to go straight to the source and try to fix the issue.
Yes, indeed. And folks, 440-737-7347, 329-3101. Those are the two numbers for you to call. Let me see. Louisa Day. Eileen Day as well. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Hey, Mr. Bowen, Honorable Gregory Bowen, he turned on the lights this weekend.
Yes.
At the Monjaloo playing field. Here was me coming over Monjaloo and wondering, what is this going on? And then only last minute to remember, hey, boy, Brother Bowen turning on the lights down there today. Then to see that the lights were on at the Monjaloo playing field. So congratulations to you, Acting Prime Minister, the Honorable Gregory Bowen. Turned on the lights. Then I think they launched some sort of initiative there as well at the same time. It kind of slipped my mind, or I'd have tried to be there, but I had to make some other run around. So that's why I ended up passing through the area. But I didn't get to go to the activity itself.
Yeah, but that's wonderful. It speaks of development within. It speaks about community development and not just development in the country as a whole, right? So
let it talk about Sheldon. Go on, talk about that.
Well, when you have nothing else to talk about, you breed a society of condemnation, then all they have to do is think about negative things to talk about.
Bottom line, let it continue talking about me. I don't mind, because I know that when the next election comes around, they shall remain in the exact position that they are. Let it go ahead.
If they're not learning, we cannot teach them.
I will help make sure that you all remain in exactly... In fact, no, I want you in the same position. I want you in a worse position. Yeah. 3 times in a row. Yeah. Wasn't even for 3 times in a row. Take it this time. Yeah.
Well, Sheldon, I promised that I would not stay long. I cannot stay long. I need to get back to my other duties. But, of course, it's always a pleasure being here.
Yes, ma'am.
I did hear a little inkling about there being Parliament reopening on Friday.
It's Friday. It's happening.
I
know
believe
it's
it's on
week.
Friday. But I once we get more information, of course, we will tell the people. But you want to put it out there so persons have it in their minds
because
as well.
we did mention it earlier, but we said we didn't know what day.
Yeah.
So I did mention it, but I didn't know what day exactly. So probably when I'm finished, contact the Parliament and find out what day it is specifically.
Absolutely. And these are events that you can take your children to, or you can take classes and students. Let them see the processes of the country and understand what's happening.
You remember that is not a trade center.
But that's okay. That's okay. You want them to come and experience it firsthand, what it is like to be seated in Parliament, what the processes are like, what it's all about.
And I think Grenada has a lot to be proud of. The fact that we have that new Parliament building. And I see Jamaica, they just completed a competition for the design for their new Parliament building. They're seeking to move out of what they have right now and move into a new Parliament building. Trinidad is going back to their old Parliament building. They're heading back to the Red House. It's been under refurbishment for over 10 years. I think they've been refurbishing. And so they're seeking to move back to their old Parliament building, now refurbished and all that. So there is Grenada again leading.
We
lead Trinidad.
We are a model.
Trinidad just decided to go in and get rid of styrofoam.
We are a model. We are a model. And that's what we need to be proud of as Grenadians. Our country is all the way up there. We now need to, as citizens, meet our country standards. Imagine that, We need to meet the standards of the name of our country because it's out there internationally. We need to meet those standards. So we need to do better as a people.
One thing, again, just a reminder before you run off on us, the reminder of tomorrow's meeting, location, time.
Right, so it's at the Boca Secondary School, 5:30 in the afternoon. All of our NNP supporters, all of our members come out and hear from your parliamentary representative. And, of course, the chairman of the party, political leader, and the General Secretary, Mr. Bola, will be there as well to speak with the people. So it's just a quick update on what's, going on with our party and so on. Just like the government touching base, we need to touch base also.
Yeah.
So it's important that our members just come out.
There have been a series of meetings by the party around the islands, because I know even Carriacou, they've been having their meetings. And so I'm not sure if they had any much in Petit Martinique yet. I know in Carriacou. And each constituency, they've been having little pocket meetings here and there, meeting with the constituents, letting them know what's taking place, updating the constituents and so.
And this morning I was coming down on this morning on my regular route, and I was listening to the radio. I don't know how we ended up on that station, but for some reason or the other, we ended up there, and I was listening to the opposition member in Carriacou speaking. And sometimes...
You want some pills for your ears, baby?
No, I want to...
Sure, there was some pills for your ears?
I want to choose my words wisely. I am all for youth in politics. That is the way to go. I agree with it 100%. The youth is our future. But you see, when the youth go into politics and pick up the bad habits, that is where I have a problem.
We have a caller online. Before you go, we have a caller online. Oops, wrong one. This one. Yeah.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, and that's the lady I want to hear. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, Mr. Duncan. Yes. Yeah, that was nice. Because I said before I left this house, and I hear this lady, I have to say something.
Okay.
I have to wish you all the best and keep up the good works. And you have a strong guy next to you there. The next one is sick, but he ain't strong. He's a weak link.
Oh, God, he's strong, man. But all of us have a look at chink in the armor. Oh, God, I'm standing up for my brother.
I think Devon have revolution fever in him still, man.
Devon. And the thing is,
I wish him all well,
Yeah.
Hope you have a speedy recovery. And you hear my partner with that guy, Chelsea Gone, boy?
Yes, indeed. May his soul rest in peace.
Boy, Chelsea Gone. He was a strong hero. You know, he's a man, you know, we all have to talk. We'll wait till they're dead before we say good things, you know?
Yeah.
But he was a real hero. He was a real hero in the revolution, you know what I mean? A man who stand firm with Morris, you know? And wish all the people in Grenada all the best, especially Camille. Camille always has her voice. The body might be going down, but she have she strong voice. And if she have something to say, Sheldon, she going to say it.
Yeah, she ain't
And
putting him out the bag.
That's what I like about this woman. When she speaks, she going to say what's in she heart.
Yeah.
She would never, she ain't care if you use NNP, NDP, or whoever you is. And that's what I like about her. You know, even though, Sheldon, even though you don't like it, but you say, Squammy Picture Man, who talk like that again, talk about himself. You might like him.
Yeah.
You don't
But
have
you
to agree with people. Yeah.
For sure. This like about this.
Oh boy, your call is starting to break up. Hello? Let's see if it'll come back clear. Hello? Oh boy, he's gone. Yeah, sometimes that happens when you're using a wireless.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, so I was I was listening. I am laughing because I don't understand why we are not learning.
You need to go to an ENT to handle your ears after listening to that.
I don't understand why we are not learning. I have been going to Carriacou since I was a child. And I'm not very old, but I mean, I can attest to the fact that Carriacou has developed. They have come a very long way.
Mm-hmm.
There is room for improvement, as in anything in the world. There is always room. Nothing is always 100%. When your phone battery go to 100% and it has died too and then you have to charge it again, of course, there's always room for improvement. But we have to be honest and understand that we cannot lie to the people and say, Carriacou ain't going nowhere. That there's no development, that there has been no improvement. The gentleman said since George Brazan, you know.
But Ms. Duncan, you have to understand that the NDC has a specific strategy that they're attempting to use. They see Carriacou as, in their mind, as a seat that they can possibly pull from the NNP the next time around, and they're focusing a lot on the youth vote in Carriacou. Yeah, saying what they're doing, so you know what they're doing. They're focusing a lot on the youth vote. Now, the person who is just 18 years old does not know what Carriacou was looking like back in 1993 or 1995. They have no idea what Carriacou was looking like. When you go up in certain areas, was track, mud
of
track.
Of course, and cow running in the road.
Concrete roads going through these areas right now. And they're focusing a lot on these people because they do not have the residual memory of what existed before. They only know, it's like the average person who is a new voter right now has absolutely no idea what it was like having to take a bus in the market in town.
Yeah.
They only know the bus terminal.
Yeah.
They have no idea what it was like having to go and take a bus in the bus terminal in town or in the market in town or going over to close to where the bus terminal is now to get a Grenville bus with a park up with the back open to the sea to cool the bus, or down by the tunnel to get a Granan's bus. They have no idea of what that's like, where Pitch Pine Bar was and so they have no idea of these things. So the people who were around those times, they're ignoring that. Some of them in the NDC, they're ignoring that, and they're focusing on the last 3 years, the last 4 years, the last 5 years, and they'll make the statements. This chap was not around in the times when Carriacou was where Carriacou was.
Of course. How old is he? Not like 21 or 22 or something like that? I mean, you cannot speak for George Brazan days. You weren't even around in those times.
He didn't see it for himself. He here. Because the first time I went to Carriacou was in the year 1994. That's the first time. 1994, yeah. The first time I went to Carriacou was 1994. And Carriacou is a much different place than it was in 1994 to even the way that the ministries operate. Back in the days in the early 1990s in general, if Tushita Galvanize had to change off a government building in Carriacou, they had to wait to get the okay from the ministry down in Grenada. Somebody had to call and give the okay, or sometimes that person had to leave and come up to Carriacou to give the okay to change that Tushita Galvanize on a building. You now have the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs, which pretty much operates as, yes, they have their linkages to the ministries on the mainland, but they operate independently to an extent, so that the people of Carriacou can make decisions on behalf of the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And as we're speaking about Carriacou, Nazibi, I need that audio in relation to that issue we were chatting about this morning with the school. I need that audio so that folks can hear exactly what's taking place with that. Because as they come up to their convention, the NDC has been throwing a lot of red herrings out there.
Yeah.
And they've been throwing a lot of false information and twisted information out there, right? And what they've been putting out, for instance, they've attacked the St. David project. They don't care that as it is right now, people have to leave St. David and come down the East Coast and try and grab a bus to come down to town to try and go and do what they have to do. They don't care about that. You're having the probability now of 2 facilities being built in St. David. And these people are attacking and trying to scare people away.
Yeah.
They're trying to scare people away, scare the investors away from doing that project in St. David.
But then when we look at these things as a people, how can we make decisions in terms of voting for a party that is sabotaging? They're not sabotaging the new national party. They're sabotaging the government. When you sabotage the government, it means you're sabotaging your own country, your own system that governs your country. And that is a terrible thing.
I'm seeing here, Nazibi, yeah, that's true. They open a supermarket there. Well, I know Alexis and them have the supermarket down in Harveyville. This is another one to the Alexis one, Naz. Another supermarket that's open outside of the Alexis supermarket. You have the Connects ATM. You have the Newport facility. Because instead of going over to Hillsborough now and coming off the port there and the problems that people had in embarking and disembarking the vessels there, now you're down to the Newport facility, which was stalled under the NDC administration. So you have that taking place. Ariza is doing a building up there. Budget Marine is opening a branch up there. There are lots of things that are taking place in Carriacou.
Well, from what I understand, with that bridge in Hillsborough, on recently traveling to Carriacou and inquiring, because as a child going up to Carriacou, that's where we get off the Osprey on that bridge, right in town. You take a bus, you go where you have to go, right?
Back when I go, the Osprey wasn't running. So we went into Harveyville.
Well, when I was younger, of course, we had to take the Alexia.
My younger was much older than your younger. So.
I know. And the Alexia, we had the Alexia, that red boat that used to, not the big one they have now, the smaller Alexia that would take us. And then they had the Alexiana, which was the one to the Osprey that came out, the one that looked kind of like the Osprey, and so on. And these boats would stop on the hills. But from what I understand, is that bridge, they brought in a few engineers.
Not bridge.
Sorry, jetty. And when you look at that jetty at face value, it looks wonderful. The top looks great. It looks steady. But when you look at the structure from underneath, it's a big accident waiting to happen. Right?
If you see some photos from underneath that, you're wondering why people used to go on it.
Exactly. So for the people who are inquiring, because there are some people who just don't know, and they are hearing the things that other people would be saying all over the place, and they don't have access to the facts. But I can tell you this much, that the structure, it's not suitable for people to even walk on. And that's why they abandoned it.
But you see, that has happened, that has taken place, right. But the general theme here of nothing taking place in Carriacou,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
That has to be disputed in its... We could say nothing is taking place with the NDC in Carriacou, but to say that nothing is taking place in Carriacou in general is, number one, an untrue and unfortunate statement.
It is.
Yes, I will always champion that the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique have to get something more.
Yes, of course.
We have to get something more. My father is from Mount Royal in Carriacou. I have relatives right now that are listening to this program in Carriacou, very close blood relatives, as in first cousins, aunts and uncles, that are listening in Carriacou right now. And I will always champion the cause of the people in Carriacou, whether it is improvements or relocation of the airport, whether it is the continued housing stock that's being improved in Carriacou right now.
Yeah.
So when they say nothing, and you realize that the last administration gave up houses, and this administration get it back, and has given to the people of Carriacou several housing units that whether young, middle-aged, or elder persons who are in need of a home would be able to secure one in a short space of time, would be able to secure one in Carriacou. Whether it is that you're improving the accessibility to and from Carriacou by the port facility, or that the persons can now have the container. If they know what they're doing, you can have your container sent directly up to Carriacou instead of having to break bulk down here.
Of course.
Where you'd have to break bulk. You have to empty the container and pack everything helter-skelter, throw it on a boat and send it up. Now you can have the container transferred direct to Carriacou if you so desire, or alternatively, if you have a container in Carriacou that you want sent down, you have some sort of manufacturing taking place and you want it sent down, you can do that. That you have the water purification system that has been set up in Carriacou right now to improve water for the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
And I believe the south of the island is now going to benefit from that as well, where they can have running water in their home just like the town. I mean, so many things. And I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, Sheldon. That's just me. And I would like to challenge that representative to I don't even want to say representative, that young man, to provide me with a list. He said nothing is happening. He said nothing has happened since George Brezan. I'm sorry. It's just funny. He says nothing has happened since George Brezan. So I want to challenge him. Give me a list of the nothing that you're speaking about, and I want to make sure that these are not things that either have already been implemented or not are not in the process, because they have a tendency of listening to things that are in the process of happening and talking about it and then saying that they are the reason why it happened, which is not true. These things are already in the pipeline. They are already working. But when they get a little wind, they start talking about it, and then when it's being implemented now, they say they were the reason why.
Well, here's one for you. What, since nothing has happened, during the period 2008 to 2013, what did the NDC administration do to improve the livelihoods of the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique? I mean, apart from take back all the property that was given to them by the NNP, what did the NDC administration do to improve the lives of the people of Carriacou? I mean, apart from fire every single Imani on the island of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, send them home unemployed. What did the NDC administration do during that space of time? Who said they would implement in their manifesto of 2008, said that within 100 days they would implement local government in Carriacou.
And that's the same manifesto they have now, eh?
That was not even done during that period of time. What did the NDC administration do during that period of time? Name the roads that you all fix. Name the houses that you all built. Don't just, you see, because there is this other movement by that organization to separate the people who are in the NDC now from what took place between 2008 and 2013.
Yeah.
They're trying their very best to separate themselves from the failure that was 2008 to 2013. Tell us what was done, and don't just try to lump it all on who was the representative of the NDC at that point in time. Don't try to lump it on them. The people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique were made to suffer because they decided to choose Elvin Nimrod as their representative at that time. That they were made to suffer. People were given property. My God, the property was taken back from the people by the NDC administration. What does the NDC have to show for their period 2008 to 2013 and say, this is an achievement, this is something that we achieved in Carriacou and Petit Martinique?
But further from that.
They can't say the mini stadium.
But further
they can't
from
say
that.
the port. They can't say the roads. They can't say the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs. They can't say anything except creating division and confusion.
But further from that, Sheldon, we don't care what they would have done in 2008 to 2013.
I care what I'm telling you.
We don't care. You know what I care about? I care about what their plans are. They plan, they want to win the election, right, Naz? They want to win, they want it bad. Okay. Give me a reason to vote for you. Tell me why I must, and I don't want to hear corruption. I don't want to hear that Dr. Micheldo good. I don't want to hear any of that nonsense. I want to hear what you plan to do for the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. for the people of Grenada. I want to hear what your plans are. I don't want to hear the plans that you had in your 2008 manifesto, because it is absolutely impossible to separate yourself from that period and still use the document that governed the people in that period. It is absolutely impossible.
What I'd like to do right now, Ms. Duncan, since we're mentioning Carriacou and Petit Martinique, is there is an issue that has been raised about Bishop's College in Carriacou, and I think the minister has made a statement previously on that, a statement that not a lot of persons have heard, and I think it's important for us to play that now to let persons hear what was said by the Honourable Emlyn Pear, our Minister of Education, in relation to the Bishop's College issue. So let's just take a minute or two to play that for the general public.
Minister Emlyn Pear, via telephone, admitted that the conditions are indeed deplorable. However, several changes to the proposed CDB-funded plan delayed restorations.
When the consultants went back on the ground in recent times, and the school said, we want to add this, we want to add that, we want to expand the size of this, or the ministry said, instead of one lab, give us two. This was costing an additional $1.9 million. That needed clearance from the Caribbean Development Bank. As a matter of fact, we are going with all of those extensions, and the principal was assured of that. Every additional that you requested, we are going to facilitate. It is costing $1.9 million more, but we are going to have to affect another project to facilitate that added expansion that Bishop College so well deserves.
The Education Minister says work should begin on the Bishop's College by year end. Eugenia Peters, GBN News.
But Sheldon, what I also understand from that is that the principal and staff of that school were given the opportunity or the choice to move to another venue, another institution, another building to house classes, and they refused to move. Not refused.
So you mean they could have moved temporarily,
they could have
so the work
moved,
could start
and
early?
Yes, and they agreed not to. But you see, what we need to understand as a Grenadian public is that everything has a process. Not because I come today and I say that the school needs to be fixed tomorrow, it needs to be fixed. There is a process that governs these things, and we must respect the process. We have a tendency in Grenada to not respect processes. Everything must be done now because it is said to be more important than everything else, so it has to be done at this present time. It must be done now, and abandon all processes. Now, if they were to abandon all processes and just go ahead and do it, then it would be a different story. Oh, the government didn't follow the process, and they're not a government that is in line with policies and processes, and you would hear something different. So you cannot please all of the people all of the time. There are always going to be a select few that will oppose for the sake of opposition, that would have nothing to propose, and that because they feel that it would gain some political mileage, they would complain.
But you have to understand, they're very well aware that work is about to begin.
Of course, but I just said
they've decided to jump in front, and
of
then
course,
they're going to stand up on a platform and say, "If I didn't talk about Bishop's College,
it would not have been done.
Do anything on it."
Of course, just as I said.
Which also means that we have to up our game in relation to providing the information to the general public in relation to these issues. We have to up our ante in relation to letting people know this is what is going to happen. Yes, the MPs do have the pocket meetings, and they do mention these things in the pocket meetings. How many of you know that BP, British Petroleum, and several other major oil companies have approached Grenada now to start drilling in our waters? How many people know that? It has been said in a meeting.
Of course.
But have we repeated it enough times so that everybody knows?
But they won't.
That wells, I think 2 wells again, will be drilled. Yeah, they'll drill 2 more wells, not necessarily BP, but 2 wells, I think, will be drilled in 2020, next year, in relation to natural gas, and so to ascertain the amount of natural gas in different areas, with, after that, a 5-year rollout in relation to when you actually start production, because there are actually people out there making statements that, oh, the oil selling already and oil selling out there. And nonsense. It's not a process where you just send a thing down and you just start to take out oil one time.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what they're
going
thinking.
to refine it. You would be registered on the world market immediately as an oil producer.
Of course.
So you can't get away with you just have oil coming out and oil selling already and who pocketing money and all sorts of nonsensical, idiotic unintellectual statements. Yeah, you have this sort of nonsense being said out there.
But it's sad, eh? It's very sad because months before they would have made a big riot about finding out what's in the contract and why does the government have this thing as a big secret. And now that the information is there and the information is available, we don't hear them. We don't hear anybody talking about, oh, well, this is what is happening. And we as Grenadians need to be smart because in doing this, or what they would have done, they could have discouraged people from coming to invest in the oil and gas that Grenada has. And then we would just be like sitting ducks with a bunch of oil and gas and nobody to buy it because there's too much conflict and confusion surrounding it. You know, so we have to be smart as Grenadians and we have to start telling the opposition, no, this is not good. This is not acceptable. We will not accept this kind of mediocre opposition party anymore. If you are going to be our representatives, then you must provide us with solid structures, solid policies, solid plans, things that you want to happen in Grenada. But you cannot do that if all that you are studying is a select group of people. Like you want to put Dr. Mitchell in jail. They want to put you in jail. I don't understand what that does that have to do with governing the country. Tell me what you plan. Like the money that they're speaking about, all the corruption that they're speaking about, right? It's not benefiting me. It's not benefiting Nazim. It ain't benefiting you. Ain't benefiting you. It's not benefiting them, right? At the end of the day, what benefits me is the development of the country. So you need to tell me what you are going to do to my benefit. When you put Dr. Mitchell in jail, how is that working to my benefit?
But my dear, you have to understand something, eh? The 2008 election campaign was run on the premise that as soon as the NDC got into office, there was a list of people that were supposed to go to jail within hours. Right. Were supposed to go into jail. Yeah, not within days or weeks. Within hours, they were supposed to be going to jail. It did not materialize. There was a meeting at the Red Cross building on Lucas Street in 2008 when the then deputy political leader of the party, who ended up the leader after.
You mean the interim prime minister? I'm kidding.
He went to that meeting of NDC activists and told them they have all the information that Mr. Gregory Bowen and Dr. Keith Mitchell going to jail in a short space of time. They're just wrapping up the investigations. They used to go in Parliament every minute and say, investigations are continuing. Investigations are continuing. And then every time they were in earshot of Christmas, they would start the who going to jail and who been arrested and who been picked up sort of thing. Now, remember, they campaigned on that, and successfully so, in 2008.
Yeah.
And they're hoping that if they campaign on that again and push hate in the minds of many people, and I'm going to warn the executive of the NDC that if anything happens physically to me or any member of my family due to the hate that people like Joseph Andal, Claudette, Joseph Tevin, Andrew, and others are pushing, I will be taking serious action against them. There's already been one incident. I don't want to speak too much about that on air. There's already been one incident. I am involved in politics. Deal with me. You have to say anything about me, say it about me. You have to come and ask any question, ask me. You have to do anything to anybody, come to me. I could defend myself. But you see, when it comes to my family, again, I've warned them before, and I'm warning them again. Stay away from my family. Yeah? One last warning. I will not be warning again. Stay away from my family or the chips will fall where they fall. They fall head or tail. However they fall, they're going to fall. All right.
But we have to be conscious of the kind of emotion that we are trying to get from people. Because if
anyone, let me just make the statement. Anyone who was not born on the island of Grenada but is a citizen of Grenada should not vote for the NDC, should not support the NDC, and should be speaking out loudly against the xenophobic attacks they have launched against individuals like me. So because I was not born on the island of Grenada, it means that I'm less of a Grenadian than somebody who was born on the island? So you're supposed to attack me and say anything about me because I happen to be born in San Fernando, Trinidad? Is that the way that we're operating now? So the tens of thousands of Grenadians who qualify to vote according to the Constitution of Grenada and were born in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago who can come here and register as electors tomorrow, and many who are registered as electors here, and those that are in the UK, and those that are in Canada, and those that are in the US, are you saying that they should not come here? Because many of them are your relatives. So when you attack me because of the fact that I was born in Trinidad, I've spent the majority of my life here. But when you attack me because I was born in Trinidad, and Cammy don't call, because Cammy knows my family, she knows down to my grandmother. She knows everybody. But when you attack me in that way, and you try to force your people to become physical against me and my family, we go have a problem. Mr. Joseph Andal, rein in your pit bull and pot hung. All right, I don't say what I say.
Yeah, but we have to be careful. We have to be careful of the type of emotion that we are putting into people, because we don't want people to be angry, and you're feeding the anger and the fear and
on the platform with outright lies. But why would I go and take thousands of dollars now to go and think a case against them? You ain't get nothing. George Worm could write where you want. Right up to this day, he ain't pay Dr. Keith Mitchell. I'm sure you owe me about $250,000 he ain't pay him up to. Why ain't put that? $250,000 at least, I'm sure he owe Dr. Mitchell. But he ain't paying that because he did owe Patrick Antoine. I'll never pay Patrick Antoine.
But it's not sensational enough. It's not sensational enough. But we really do have to, I mean, I have to go, but we...
All of we have to go this time.
We as Grenadians need to demand more. Just as we're demanding a lot from our current administration and from the government and from our parliamentary representatives and all of that, we need to demand more from our opposition. This political ping pong, and I like to call it political ping pong, simply because you're playing with the emotions of people. Today you have them vexed, tomorrow you have them afraid, next you have them angry, fear for their lives. It's ridiculous. You don't do these things to people.
I ain't afraid nobody, and I ain't afraid nothing. I go in every part of Grenada, any hour of the day and night as our custom. I ain't afraid nobody.
Well,
but leave my family alone. Right.
Yeah, we really do have to do better. But Sheldon, I must go because Mr. Buller probably sitting across there fuming. I tell him I'm spending half an hour. I'm sure it's more than half an hour now.
Girl, all I know is 85 days to Christmas, folks. And whatever you say and do it safe and secure. We're gonna be
I can't believe
want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. We are out of here. What is it? Is that time?
Oh my goodness, I can't believe you, Sheldon.
Christmas time.
Mr. Nichols, give me a rum and coke this, As a matter of fact, I want a number 37 and coke, and please.
Rides on the rays of the sun here. So too does the resilience of the people. But in the battle against climate change, will hope and resilience be enough when the lives of those who contribute the least feel the brunt of its effects?
For us here in the Caribbean, climate change and its devastating impacts are our new normal.
Hope is still the strongest currency in these parts. But a devaluation of life can come if the world sells the people short. With the realities of modern times, forever no longer has the same currency it had a generation ago.
Rolling on the way through my journey, I got a triple OG sitting right beside me. This old man, he played fall, he playing knick-knack on my door. Raises a white noise, light up the world. Here we go, and I follow the sun, 'cause it's bright on the other side of my window.
In Grenada, like in many places in the Caribbean, there are continuing concerns about rising temperatures and the increasing frequency of storms.
In growing up as a young girl on the Carriacou, the changes, I always tell them the major change started with Hurricane Janet, September. September is a very terrible month for Grenada with hurricanes. Price of progress is always very high. And to me, the whole environmental problem in the Caribbean and in particular in Grenada come with the price of progress.
The country was devastated, almost complete devastation. In some villages, first of all, every village in Dominica, every street, every cranny, every person in Dominica was impacted by the hurricane.
I know myself from since this boy growing up, come here, boys come and enjoy yourself at the beach, and bathe and eat and drink and enjoy yourself and have fun. The river never should meet much with the sea, but I know the water get rough. The climate got changing.
People here have created their own way of life, overcoming great challenges over the centuries. They are at one with nature, and nature is at one with them.
There are farmers who have irrigation systems. There are farmers who are close to rivers, but there are also farmers who depend solely on rainwater, our rainwater harvesting to grow their plants. And I can tell you over the last year or so, and a lot of farmers have not been able to reach their targets in terms of production.
They followed the sun and the moon and the stars to maintain their livelihoods. Their culture has evolved dependent on the environment, their lives intertwined with its well-being.
We have no choice as a region but to pursue climate-smart development.
Building the region's resilience to climate change, natural hazards, and environmental changes is not only a necessary and urgent development imperative, but is also a fundamental requirement to ensure our basic survival as a people.
The problem with climate change is it's getting warmer faster in the temperate regions, and so earlier in the year, like February, March, when the birds are still here, they don't know they have to go home yet, but all the things that should be happening when they arrive are happening earlier. So their nesting sites are becoming available, their food sources, especially insects, are blooming. So by the time the birds get back to where they have to go, there's no food for them.
Follow the sun, I follow the sun.
Water fuels life here. Above as below, without adaptation, much is at stake. Maybe the lives here can be the hope and the light the world needs to make a change before it's too late.
These impacts are reversing economic growth, exacerbating poverty, and undermining the future prosperity of Caribbean countries.
This war was not started on their terms, but one through which they are determined to fight together.
But we can't do this alone. This is why we're calling for greater focus, support, and action from the international community to get us ahead of this climate crisis.
Grenada's National Sustainable Development Plan 2035 seeks to address climate adaptation and vulnerability for sustainable development.
Being on the front line in the war against climate change, Caribbean countries are pushed into action and are finding ways to overcome the challenges.
We're facing a hurricane, Hurricane Dorian, one that we've never seen in the history of Bahamas. I just want to say that as a physician, I've been trained to withstand many things, but never anything like this.
We preserve, we protect, and we promote. Adaptation done right safeguards our economies and builds a better future for us all. The choice is clear. Delay and pay, or plan and prosper.
Hope and resilience may be enough after all. Governments, communities, and businesses are working together in this changing reality to adapt and build a stronger Caribbean as the world's first climate-smart zone.
Investing in adaptation measures is not a cost, it is an opportunity. It is an opportunity to realign our lifestyles and our economies to respect that delicate balance that maintains life on Earth.
Accelerating adaptation would enable us to get ahead of the climate crisis and stay there.
In Grenada, they're embarking on a bold plan to build the first climate-smart city in the Caribbean. If carbon emissions are not capped, if the sea levels and temperatures continue to rise, if we do not act now, all hope will be lost.
The time for action is now. The choice is clear.
The choice is clear. Adapt our world.
With fresh investments in people and infrastructure, with development tied to the sustenance of the environment, with strengthening policies and greater awareness, we can accelerate adaptation and save our world. So join us as we adapt our world.
The choice is clear. Adapt our world.
Adapt